Welcome back. Hello, viewers. Welcome back. It's another Monday. My name is Wisdom, and I welcome you back again to the Amma Manson Show. Every Monday we talk about IT, we talk about technology, we talk about entrepreneurship, uh, all sorts of topic related to information technology, right? So last week we discussed or we talked about a very important topic, which is why a lot of startups fail, right? A lot of small businesses and medium businesses that fall into the startup categories fail. So this week, we have a very simple but interesting topic again, which is the importance of having a website for your business, right? Um, I'm pretty much sure a lot of people have heard website, but they have no clue, no idea what exactly a website is. Why is it important to own a website for your business, even though your business is a startup, right? So, in today's topic, we'll be discussing in depth what a website is, types of websites, importance of your website to your business, to your personal brand, pretty much to anything that you are doing that can move you from a limited audience to a wider or broad audience, across cities, communities, and put you on a global scale, right? Where people who are not even within your vicinity can see your product, can see your business, and even attempt to patronize or show interest in your business, right? So, what is a website? So a website is a simple combination of different pages that can be viewed on a phone or a web browser. So it could either be on the phone or on a laptop or on a desktop, right? So it's a connection of multiple pages that talks or shares more information about your services, your business, your portfolio, right? And whatever it is you offer, either as a freelancer or as a business entity, right? So, um, why is a website important for your business? Before we dive into why a website is important for your business, we will first of all look at what are the different types of what website, right? So, yes, website is interconnected pages that shows, or give out more information about your business or services, right, or products. Or maybe you are in e-commerce, maybe you are in service rendering. So any pages that are connected to each other that gives information about what you are selling or what you are not selling, but still gives out information about a particular topic, a particular service, or a particular event or agenda can be classified as a website. And it can either be viewed on a phone or on a laptop or on any sort of what browser, right? So, what are types of websites? So, we have personal websites. Personal websites are websites which has to do with an individual portfolio. Um, if you are watching us, if you are live, kindly indicate in the comment section. Let us know. Tell us from which city you are watching us from. Tag a friend, share, like, and always invite a friend to watch along with you. So, what is a personal website? A personal website is a type or a category of websites that talks about a personal branding, right? This is more of a personal, it has to do with an individual, a single individual. So, uh, somebody is watching us from Abu Dhabi. Oh, Sister Amma herself. Hello, Sister Amma. Thanks for joining us from Abu Dhabi. So, a personal website is a website that has to do with your personal branding or your personal portfolio. So, as an individual, as a startup, right? So, sometimes individuals try to build themselves and use their own personal portfolios or their own personal reputation, integrity, and trust to what? To sell their business, right? So, to build a personal integrity, to build your own personal portfolio, to put yourself on a scale where someone can easily look you up on the internet and see that this person has an amount of credibility, right? Because their portfolio is on the internet, their social media is connected to their website or his or her website. So we can easily find out more details about this person, right? So people tend to have a personal website and use it to what push their brand. So coming back to what a personal website is, a personal website is a type of website that talks about you as an individual. So it talks also about your projects that you've completed in the past, your history, your biography, where you were born, which city you live in, your career, which school you attended, if you are married, if you have kids, if what kind of projects you are into, if it's a single project, if it's multiple projects, whatever you do in a nutshell, right? Is embodied into your personal website, or is always embodied into the personal website category. It has to do with an individual, right? Um, Even at that, your personal website can be linked to a business website. So, take for example, you are a founder or a co-founder of a business, right? And you have your personal website. And on your personal website, you talk about your involvement in a specific what business where you are either the founder, a co-founder, or a shareholder. You can connect the third website or the second website, which talks about the other business which you are a part of, as a link or as a reference where someone can click on the link and visit the other website which you are part of, either as a startup, as a shareholder, or as a founder. So your personal website is not limited to just you, but it can be connected to what your business service as well. But 90% of the content on your personal website has to talk about you as an individual, your life, career, achievements, awards, projects executed, your years of experience, either as a freelancer, either as a managerial, kind of position that you've occupied in the past. Everything that has to talk about you or has to pinpoint what somebody needs to know, about you before going ahead to patronize you as an individual or as a business is regarded, as a kind of personal biography, which fits in the personal website category. So, with that being said, so another category we are going to talk about is the business website, right? So, um, the business website is a type of website that mostly or solely talks about a business, right? So, if you own a business, it could be a school, it could be a service provision, it could be a mechanic workshop, it could be an art workshop, it could be an art supplier, it could be a bookstore, it could be any kind of service, right? So um, your business website talks more about the services that your business as an entity provides or it gives, right? So if you are a mechanic, then your website will talk more about auto mechanics, what kind of cars that you service, brands, models, etc. If you are into books, what kind of books, category of books that you sell, and all of that. So we have someone in the comments. Your personal website can be connected. That is why you have to have it in the first place to shine light on your personal and what you do. Um, yes, this is correct, but in most cases, not necessarily, right? It's not the prerequisite requirement to have a personal website before connecting it to your business website, because your personal website has to do with you as an individual. But business websites represent businesses, right? So um, representing a business means you are representing a legal entity. You can be part of a legal entity without having to disclose your identity online, more especially if it's a kind of business that involves multiple shareholders and multiple accounts, or multiple founders in the business. You don't necessarily have to connect that business website to your personal website. Neither is it a prerequisite to have a personal website before establishing a business website. For business website, it could be businesses that you are not even the founder, right? You could be just the manager, you could be in C-suite, you could be in any kind of position, right? But your personal website has to do with you as an individual. You have 100% control of your personal website. But for a business website, because in most cases, if it's not a sole proprietorship where you have 100% control, in the other cases, you don't have 100% control over what goes on or what should come first. If it's your personal website that has to come first, or a business website, but it's often linked together, more especially if a co-founder or a founder of the business has their own personal website, then they can link it as a source of reference to what, to their brand. So coming back to the business website. So yeah, business websites mostly talk about the business services that you provide, whether you are selling a product or whether you are providing a service, right? So in these two categories, your business website elaborates, it put more light, it have more explanation as to what your business does, right? And it also has what we call the CTA, the call to action buttons. So if I visit your bookstore, for example, right, and I browse, I see a particular type of book that I want, what do I do? If I have money, I can either proceed to what, to purchase. So one of the call to actions that you find on business websites are either buy, add to cart, register, add to favorites, and a whole lot more different type of what, call to action buttons that enable users to what, take an action on your business website, because the website is there to what, to represent the physical activities of the business. So if it's an e-commerce web shop, then you have more of call to action buttons that will prompt a user to what, to purchase a product, like a product, share a product, or what, sign up, to have an account on the store. If it's a service provision website, then you have call to action buttons such as contact us, WhatsApp chat, leave a message, request a call back, and so on and so forth. Some of these call to action buttons can also be interlinked or interchanged based on if it's a service, if it's an e-commerce website. So most of the call to action are tailored to the needs of that business. So if you're not an e-commerce business, there's no need to put a call to action button buy, right? Because your website is not selling any sort of product that can be shipped physically or downloaded or sent, like virtually. So usually for service websites, you have call to action buttons like contact us, WhatsApp chat, um, maybe newsletter sign up. You have click to call, click to mail, where you can click on the email and it opens your Gmail or any other email service provider that you use, and you can directly send them what, an email. So the call to action buttons are what? They are features that are put in place to help you have easy access to what, this business that has no physical person standing right in front of the computer waiting for you to come onto what, the website. So you can leave information, you can request a call back in most cases. Yes, some businesses, some websites do have virtual assistants, who are live within specific hours of the day, depending on what the time zone where the business is located. But when they are offline, these call to action buttons still work, because in the absence of the virtual assistant, you can still leave a message, request a call back, and they will give you a call back when their business is what open at their physical space, right? So a business website is one of the categories of types of what websites. We've also looked at personal websites. So another type of website we will look at is the government websites, right? So a government website is a kind of website that solely is used by the government, right? So the immigration, the custom, the judiciary, the police, the military, any arms of government, any government agency can fall in these type of what government website categories. So usually you have them or the extensions with .gov, right? So you have, let's say, for example, UAE.ae.gov, right? Or GH or Ghana.gov or whatever extension .gov. So the last extension is always what .gov, which is the short form of what government, GOV. So this is also a type of what website. Now, another category we are going to look at is blogs. So blog websites are sort of another category of websites where you can go on these websites and have access to informational materials, news updates, trending news, um, anything that is informative to specific type of industries or multiple industries. These type of websites are regarded as what blogs. So um, it can be sort of fall under news blog or the news category, but sometimes also it's separated from the news category, right? So um, on business websites, even on personal websites, you can find pages that are what uh, pages that have the title blog. Why do they have the title blog? A blog is a place that you go and have or find informative resources like articles, write-ups, stories. Some of these stories could be real stories, it could be fictional stories, it could be um, breaking news, it could be anything. So long as these articles or write-ups share a specific type of what information. So this is more of like um, the information section of the website, right? So whether it's a personal website, business website, government website, or any other type of what website, you can find very informative resources. It could be company update, uh, new terms and conditions, rules and regulations. There is no limit to the kind of resources that fall within the blog website category. So blogs can also be standalone websites where, for example, I have an entertainment blog, right? So I only talk about entertainment updates, entertainment news about celebrities. It could be in a specific city, it could be in a specific country, it could be global, it could be cross culture, it could be almost on any topic, right? So I can have a blog that talks about entertainment. Having this blog doesn't make my blog a news website by default, right? Because news websites are actually representing physical media agencies that have a virtual what presence. So a typical example in Ghana is Joy News. In the US, you have Fox News, you have CNN. In Nigeria, you have Punch. In UAE, you have Khaleej Times. You have Gulf News. Now, these are certified media agencies that are operating on a large scale, right? So it doesn't mean that small media companies who are upcoming would not fall in these categories. Yes, they will fall in these categories, right? But what makes them fall in these categories is if they have the right license or the right paperwork to operate as a news agency. But for example, if you register an entertainment business, if you register a mechanic or auto business, and then on your website you have a blog, or you create a blog that talks about auto mechanics or entertainment, it doesn't make you a news agency, right? So your website in that sense will only be classified as a blog. What other websites do we have? We have NGO websites, or non-governmental organizational websites, which talks about the activities of NGOs and everything that they do. Another category of websites that we will talk about are informative websites, which sometimes are similar to blogs and forums. So, what are forums? Forums are types of websites where people go, uh, talk about ideas, comment, share these topics they've talked about. Mostly on forums, it is open to the general public. Anybody can have a contribution, right? It is more of an open place where you can air your opinion without having to have any sort of restrictions or limitations. So with forums, you can leave a comment, you can make a post, somebody can come and comment under your post, somebody can come and share your post and say all sort of nasty things. Some can come and say good things, support your post and all of that. So it's more of like an open field for everybody to share their opinion, share an idea. It could be share a trending post, it could be share a broadcast, it could be anything. So this is what forums is all about, right? So on blogs and other sort of websites, the administrators have the abilities to deny people from making comments. So on my website, for example, on my business website, when I post a blog and somebody makes a comment, I have to manually approve it, right? Because it could be a spam comment, it could be a comment which is not related to the blog post that I made. So if I automatically allow comments, then what happens is that when there are a lot of spammy content, then I lose credibility on my articles, and people will lose interest in coming to my website or my blog session to read articles. So in forums, some admins and content posters also have the ability to limit comment, delete comments, and even suspend users and all of that. More especially when they violate the guidelines of the forum that they are interacting in. So forum is just another category of website. Sometimes it's also classified as informational website, the same as blogs. They are totally different. The function, the architecture, their layouts are entirely different, but they fall in the same categories because they often give out frequent information. So on blog pages, blogs can either be updated on a daily basis, weekly basis, or on a monthly basis. Forums usually have high level of engagement because you have different individuals from different time zones posting different content, and different people are engaging. But unlike blogs, the posts have to come from the admins or the content writers who have been contracted to write content, or any of the employed employees who has the responsibility to write and post contents. So now we are going to the main topic of the day, right? The importance of having a website for your business. So we've talked about website. We've defined what a website is: a series of pages that are connected to each other on the internet, which can either be viewed on the mobile phone or on your laptop, desktop, iPad, or any other device that can give you access to the internet, right? And these pages communicate information about yourself, what you do, the services you offer, either as an individual or as a business. And we've also looked at the type of websites, individual websites, business website, government website, forums, personal websites, informative websites, NGO websites, etc. So, why is it important to have a website for your business? So, let's take a look at this simple scenario, right? Now, globalization has brought everyone so close to each other that 10, 15 years, 20 years back, we never thought that would happen, right? The internet has been existing for quite some years now, but today we have seen a massive adaptation to what the use of the internet. Mobile phones weren't that popular, many years ago, but today there is a massive adaptation of what mobile devices, to the extent that even a 4 years old, a 5 years old, 6 year old knows how to what go on YouTube and search for what their favorite cartoon, and they can even skip ads because what these ads are what boring to them. So this is how the evolution of what the use of technology has what come to, right? So do we have a choice? Absolutely yes. And what choice do we have to cope with it? Because we cannot do without mobile devices anymore. We cannot do without what the internet. So why is it important to have a website? The number one reason why it's important to have a website for your business is because it gives you access to a wider audience, right? Take, for example, you are selling a product in a different country or in your country, right? And you want to reach the entire world. The only way, the only access that you have is by what? Having a website that talks about your service or your product and what showing it to what these people wherever they are or wherever what they are located, right? So if you are thinking globally to sell your product or service, it is important to have what? A website. Does it mean that if you are selling locally or your product or service is only for local base, you don't need a website? You need a website. The internet is very vast, and also it is what? Very small. We have adapted to the use of internet. We've adapted to the use of what? Mobile phone. The average person who searches for a service or a product makes an enormous amount of research using Google or any other search engine to look for what? Service providers who are either close to them or within what their vicinity, right? So people still do what? Referral businesses. They ask friends, family, but the average person who has access to what? Internet and mobile, go on Google, how to buy X cheap, right? Maybe how to find a clinic, closest clinic near me. So these are keywords that people go online and they type into what? Google. And because Google has what? An integrated map services, you can find a whole lot of businesses that are what? Closer within your vicinity, and even how long it will take you to reach what? Their physical space. It could be 2 minutes, it could be 5 minutes. Maybe you moved in a new area, right? And you have no idea, where to find the nearest pharmacy, the nearest clinic, the nearest grocery store. What you do? So you go online and you search for what? These service providers, right? To find a way to get your groceries, or when you fall sick, go to the pharmacy, buy whatever. So it doesn't matter whether you are a local business serving only local customers, or if you are a business looking to go international. A website is an inevitable choice for any business in the modern day 21st century that wants to reach what? A wider audience locally or internationally. So it is very important to have a business website to be able to reach what? A wider audience. Maybe locally averagely you have maybe 1,000 people visiting your website. But guess what? When you go global, you could have millions of people visiting your website, demanding or requesting for your product or what? Service, right? So Amazon is based in the United States, but I can sit where I am right now and I'll buy products and it will be shipped from the United States to my doorstep. I don't need to know who the seller is. I don't need to have a contact with them. I don't even know who they are. But all I know is that this product that I want, I can find it on somebody who is sitting in the United States. And when I pay for it, it will be shipped to my what doorstep. So this is how globalization has brought everything together closer to what our fingertips. So it is very important to have a website or business website if you want to serve a wider audience, either locally or internationally. Now, the number two point that I will talk about is having a business website um, helps you to monitor your business or your website traffic, right? Not just the traffic, but also the events and activities that are happening on your website. Now, remember, your website is an exact replica of your business if you have an offline store or location, right? So it doesn't mean that if somebody is attacking your website online, then offline your business is also being attacked. Not really, but to an extent, yes. Also, your business is also being attacked. So I will explain that. So having a website gives you access to analyze and track the user behaviors of strangers and customers who land on your website, right? So who are these strangers? Strangers are people who have never purchased from you. They've never had any transaction with your businesses before or your website before. Out of search, out of curiosity, out of their planning activities, they came across your website and decided to have a look of what the services that you offer and the products that you sell, right? So these people stumble on your website. So how do you know who was a stranger, who is a customer, and all of that? Now, having a website gives you all of these data when you have Google Analytics or any type of analytics installed on the back end of your website. So you can track user data and website activities, right? So having Google Analytics installed on your website can tell you when a user visits your website, how long they stayed on your website, which pages they browsed, and what other activities or actions they took on your website. So, take for example, I visit your website. You are selling a product. I visit your website, right? And I scroll from the home page to your service page or to your product page. And I stay for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, and I leave your website. Now, my digital footprint will be recorded by Google Analytics. So this data will be available for you as the owner of the website on the back end to have a deeper understanding what I did on your website. What did I look at? What was I interested in? It could be maybe I followed an offer onto your website, right? Or maybe I saw a cheaper item which made me browse other cheaper items on your website. It could be maybe I signed up. It could be maybe I even signed up and added a specific product to the cart, but I didn't check out, right? So Google Analytics is able to tell you or give you data on all of these sort of activities. Even when somebody submits a form or submits a request, right? Maybe a callback request or a form, Google Analytics is able to tell every single action that was taken on the website. Now, what do you do with this data as a business owner? It's very simple. It helps you to take more strategic and informed e-commerce, and maybe a specific product is being viewed by a lot of website visitors, but you don't have purchases for this product. You can use the data to actually analyze your pricing. Maybe your prices are higher than that of your competitor. So you can use this to make more informed decision as to lowering the price of your product or keeping it at the market average, enable for you to make what? More sales, right? So the more people you have visiting your website also tells you that what? A lot of people are what? Looking for what? Your service or services that are related to what? To your service. So in a nutshell, having a website and Google Analytics installed on your website can give you in-depth data, the demographics of the person, the visitor. It could be either male or female, what devices they are using, which country they are accessing or visiting your website from, even which operating system they are using, the time, how long they stayed on your website. If they stayed on your website just for 1 second, if they stayed on your website for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 1 hour, all these data are what? Available at the back end. So it is important to understand that having a business website with analytics helps you to make better informed decisions, in terms of your pricing strategy, your marketing strategies, and a whole lot more, right? So one of the other points or topics I will talk about is one of the importance of having a website for your business is to also let you see what demographics are interested in your products and service, right? So I've already talked about analytics, which is in line with demographics. So if you have a business website and you are selling ladies' product, right, and you have more of guys or more of the male demographics visiting your website, it could mean that something is wrong. It could also mean that maybe your advertisement campaign is what? Wrong. It was targeted to the wrong what? Audience, right? So having a website helps you to understand the demographics of people who visit what? Your website. Their age, gender, ethnicity, and a whole lot more, right? So um, understanding the demographics of visitors on your website can also help you make more informed decision as to either changing your pricing strategy or changing your content strategy, and also either adding certain type of products to serve a specific demographics, or removing some portion of your product and replacing them with either a cheaper one or a more what expensive type of what product. So having a business website help you to understand more of the user behavior uh, on your website, demographics, and then also the traffic that comes in on your website. Maybe you have a website, but you never knew that your website after 1 year started having 5,000 what visitors, right? And guess what? After this, after you started having these 5,000 visitors, you never really made use of what their digital what footprint, right? So, if I have 5,000 people visiting my website on a monthly basis, it means that I need to have a specific amount of them converted into what? Customers, right? So if you have repetition, if you have specific IP addresses coming back to back to your website, it means that what? They are interested or have a huge interest in your website activities, services, or what? Products, right? So this traffic can be converted either to leads, potential clients, or customers. So this is one of the importance of having a website for your business. One of the importance of having a website for your business is also to increase your brand awareness, right? So in this digital age, everybody is googling, everybody is on Facebook, social media, checking here and there, and people are browsing, different brand categories and a whole lot. So having the website increases, or gives you the chance to increase your brand awareness. When somebody searches, about your service or related products or synonymous keywords, that are in line with that of your business or competitor, you are likely to what? To show up as an option. And what this happens is that it helps in what? Giving your brand a form of what recognition, right? So another importance of having a website is that it increases your brand's credibility. So there is a lot of online scams. There is a lot of offline scams as well. But having a website can help you secure your brand image both online and offline, right? So if a brand is offline, they can still have an online presence. A brand can also still be online and have not have an offline what presence, right? So uh, the way your brand communicates to its audience or your audience or your business leads or customers can help you to curb or avoid fraudulent transactions and activities by what imposters or people who try to masquerade as your brand representatives, right? So your communication pattern, your tone of voice, or your brand's tone of voice, customer service, and how you treat your customers can, help distinguish between fraudulent activities and real transactional activities. So it helps, to increase the credibility and trust of what your brand. So uh, also it helps to give your customers the alternative, right? So if a customer can only find you offline and they can't find you online, it means that you are losing to what your competitors. It means that at some point your customers who come to you offline will go to what your competitors online, right? Because they can't find you online, they can't purchase, they can't do anything on your website online because you don't exist, right? So um, it helps to improve or increase your brand visibility, credibility, your brand trust. Having a website gives you the ability to see your user data demographics and make more informed decision as to um, changing your strategy, changing your pricing, uh, changing what sort of products, etc. Right? So uh, the importance of having a website is a whole lot of list. But if you have any questions about what a website is, why you need a website, or anything that is confusing you, drop it in the comment section and I will answer. Also, don't forget to share, like, invite a friend, family, and let anybody who wants to know what it takes to have a website, what it means to have a website for your business, see this video, right? So one thing I will talk about now is what is the average cost of a business website, a personal website, a blog, a forum, or any sort of online presence. Um, we can't talk about website without talking about the average cost of what having or getting a website for your business, right? So the cost of a business website is usually different from the cost of what a personal website. It's also usually different from the cost of what having a government website, right? Um, Government websites often tend to be one of the most expensive websites to have because these websites represent government agencies and entities, and the government has the budget to spend on any type of website to be able to provide services to the citizens and people from outside the country who want to have access to activities, or do businesses or request for information from the government of your country or specific what country. So usually government websites are one of the most expensive because they are linked to a whole lot of websites, and sometimes their database systems are very interconnected, from immigration to custom to Ministry of Interior to other agencies like the police, military, and a whole lot, right? So often government websites are much more expensive than a business website, personal website, and other sort of websites. So um, how much will it cost to have a business website? Now, in businesses, we have small businesses, medium, and what large enterprises. So the cost of a business website, the cost for a website for a large enterprise is not the same cost for a medium and a small business. So starting with a small business, depending on which country you find yourself in, right? So as a small business in Dubai, the cost of setting up a website in Dubai could be different from the cost of setting up a website in Vietnam as a small business, right? The cost of setting a website in the United States could be different from the cost of setting a website in South Africa for a small business, right? So, what makes the cost different? Um, the service providers, where you buy your domain, where you buy your hosting, uh, these are elements that contribute to the cost of your website. Also, the living standard, the economic standard, and the service industry pricing also contributes to either what will make the cost of setting a website higher or less. So when I say the service standard pricing, what I mean is agencies that provide websites, right? So the cost of living in Dubai is high. The cost of living in Dubai is high. The cost of living in the United States could be high compared to what other countries. In some countries, you pay specific type of taxes, you pay specific type of levies or VAT. In some countries, you don't pay. So, in every single transaction you make, the government either charges you or don't charge you. So, a combination of these charges from the government, the cost of also getting your business license and all of that could contribute to what you having, or the cost of setting up your own viewers, the cost of having your own website. So the average website could range between, let's say, $1,000, depending on where you are. That includes your hosting, that includes your domain and the service charge. Uh, that is the minimum cost of what setting up a good business website. When I say a good business website, I mean a website that is very that represents your brand, a website that looks good, looks attractive, and a website that is accessible and easy to navigate, right? So it could cost less depending on, but I can't speak for every country, but from the average, a website can cost from $1,000, depending on which country you find yourself in, right? So also, depending on the type of domain that you want to buy, it could also be part of what the cost that is incurred in getting your website set up. So, for example, you might want to buy a domain that suits your business name, but this domain is already purchased by somebody elsewhere, right? So, if you want to buy this domain from them, it could cost you thousands of dollars. It would be $50,000. There are a lot of domains that are expensive. Some domains go for like 1 million USD, specific names, not for every name, right? So before you get a website, you always have to check if the name that you want to use for your website is available or not. So when you establish that the name is available, then you can check the cost of buying this domain, or you can ask your consultant to check if this domain is available and how much it costs, right? So there is a whole lot of factors that comes into play when you're buying a domain name. Now, another thing that could increase or decrease the cost is the type of extension, domain extension that you want. So we have .com, which is .commercial, right? We have .org, .org, which is .organization. We have .net, .net, which is .network. We have .biz, which is business, right? BIZ. We have a whole lot of different domain extensions, and how much they cost per year, and also how much they cost for renewal. So when you buy a domain, for example, $20 this year, your renewal might be $40 next year, or after 1 year of buying the domain, right? So there is a whole lot that goes into the cost of setting up a business website. So in certain geographical locations, the minimum for setting up a website for a small business starts from or range from $1,000 and above. In some geographical location, it might be less, but I can't say for sure because I have never lived in that economy before. So just to have a broader and a wider spectrum of how things go within setting up the website for either a small business, medium, or a large business is, right? So medium businesses could range from, let's say, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Some of the things that could also increase the cost of setting a website could be the kind of features that you want on your website, and also the purpose of what the website. Maybe you want to build a website where people come and play games, right? You want to build a website where people come and use specific type of softwares online. So there is a whole lot that goes into what building a website. So in the website industry, we have two types of website. We have the static website and we have the dynamic website. So the static website are the type of websites that usually don't have a lot of updates or changes. But dynamic websites frequently have what changes. It could be change of color, theme, logo, features, updates, a whole lot more. So the cost of setting up a dynamic website is not also the same as what setting up a static website. So there are different factors or elements that comes into play when it comes to what costing for setting up a website. So the features that you want on the website, the domain extension, how long you are buying the domain. So if you buy a domain for 2 years, for example, you have, let's say, 50% discount, depending on the service provider or where you are buying the domain from. Now, this 50% discount is not applicable all year round. It depends on when the service provider is offering what the discount, right? Government taxes, charges, agency fee to set up your website, and a whole lot more. Maybe, for example, you want an e-commerce website where you can collect payments online direct into your bank account or your business bank account. So some of these features contribute to the cost of what setting up a website. A domain extension .com, .org, .biz, your country, let's say you live in the United States, .us, you live in Jamaica, .ja, you live in India, .in, you live in UAE, .ae. If you live in Ghana, .gh, if you live in South Africa, .sa, if you live in Nigeria, .ng, right? So there is a whole lot more that contribute to what the cost of setting up a website. There is no exact figure, but the estimate I just gave is, in specific economies, the bare minimum to what set up a small business website. Medium business websites like $5,000, $10,000 and up. Enterprise websites could be $100,000, $200,000. It depends on what the agency that is in charge, what features the website will be given to what the users, right? So maybe the website could be in the industry, real estate industry, event management, software, gaming, etc. So different industries come with what they are pricing, right? But as a small business, as a startup, right? If you want to build your own website without having to patronize an agency, buy your domain, buy your own hosting, set up the basic necessities for yourself. Don't expect to spend less than $1,000 or $1,000 to set up a website for your business. So this is a very interesting topic that we've treated today, the importance of having a website for your business. I will take a loop on the important topics. Having a website for your business gives you a wider audience. It sells your business globally. It gives you user analytics data and behavior. It improves the credibility of your business and service. It helps you to prevent fraudulent imposters, from fronting as your business and trying to defraud your customers. So having a business website is very important, whether you are a startup, medium, or what an already established business. Globalization has brought us together, and we can no longer do away with what mobile devices. Neither can we do away with what the internet. So it is important to have a website for your business, whether it's a startup, whether even if you're in ideation stage. Okay, I usually recommend, if you have a plan to have a website, buy your domain or secure your domain before it gets what bought by another person, right? So there is this thing that happens on the internet. The more you search for a domain name, the more likely you might not get this domain name, right? Why? Because there is a lot of ambiguities online that even bots, right, can buy or reserve a domain name and resell it, or they make it what expensive. There are softwares to find or track specific domains or domain names that are what in search. And what happens is that people who are in the domain flipping business can buy these domain and what auction them or resell them at a higher price. They could buy a domain for $10 and sell it for $1,000 or $500 or $200 or $300. So these are things that happen online, which it's another sort of business for people who are in the industry, right? For domain flipping. So this is just the little advice I usually give, or when I get the clients who are asking for consultation. If you have an idea, if you really want to have a website, secure your domain name what first, right? Don't over search for the domain name week after week. You have a likely chance of what buying or using a different domain which you might not end up being happy with, because a bot or a domain flipper must have seen your digital footprint searching for your domain multiple times, and they quickly buy it, and they hope or know that you what buy it from them at an expensive price. So if you are joining us now, welcome to the Amma Manson Show. Today we talked about the importance of having a website for your business, right? So every Monday we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about technology, and today we've talked about the importance of having a website for your business. We've talked about what a website is, types of websites, what is the cost of what having a website for your business. So my name is Wisdom. I build websites, I design logos, pretty much anything that has to do with digital marketing, I consult. I build mobile apps, APIs, anything that has to do with website coding. If you have any questions about digital projects, it could be UI, UX design, Photoshop, video editing, feel free to contact me, and I will always be available to give you consultations. You can book a one-on-one consultation with me if you go on my website or my business website, www.myscom.agency. Request a call back, leave your details, and I will surely give you a call back, or one of my team members will reach out to you and give you a call back. Don't forget, when you're sending money from Europe, from America back home, use the Amma Manson code on TapTapSend and get your bonus when sending money back home. Thank you for joining us today. See you again next week. Bye.